I've been thinking a lot on why Hey Arnold hits so much harder than every other 90s cartoon, and the answer is simple. It's basically Sopranos for kids. It's the only show that actually treats its world and its characters with the same level of seriousness as a prestige HBO drama.
I knew if I gave mine to the soldier, they would take care of her.
Side characters are never treated like jokes. Most kids shows use side characters the same way. They're there for a joke, a one-off gag, or to fill space in the episode. But Hey Arnold doesn't do that. Even small characters feel like they have lives that extend beyond the scene. And you can clearly see this with Stinky Peterson. Stinky could have easily been a background joke, just a tall farm kid with a simple stereotype used for quick laughs. But instead, the show actually gives him an arc. In the episode where Stinky becomes a spokesperson and gets local attention and fame, he's not treated like a punchline that resets at the end. We actually get pulled into his experience, how he handles the attention, and how people start seeing him differently. The most important part isn't that it's just a Stinky episode, it's that the show makes us care about what happens to him. And Hey Arnold does this constantly, giving us numerous episodes that flesh out the other characters like Phoebe, Rhonda, Mr. Wynn, making them feel just as essential as the leads. The Sopranos does the exact same thing. Take Artie Bucco.
Jesus Christ. I'm trying something new. Hey.
In most crime dramas, he'd just be a background friend who owns a restaurant. Instead, we follow his crumbling marriage, his financial struggles, and his devastation when his restaurant burns down. While Tony is almost involved in his life, the show still makes us care about Artie's search for purpose and his sad, unreciprocated fixation on Adriana. His story matters in a way that goes far beyond just being a side character in Tony's world. Then there's Bobby.
To the victor belongs the spoils.
He starts as a background character, but over time the show explores his grief after losing his wife, his relationship with his children, and his struggle to fit into a violent world. By the end, viewers care deeply about what happens to him, not because he's the main character, but because how the show treated him like a real person. That's exactly what Hey Arnold does with its cast. That's what makes both worlds feel alive and why both shows succeed in building such a deep emotional ecosystem. In both Hey Arnold and Sopranos, everything is built around an anchor character. They also share a different kind of loneliness. Arnold is missing his parents, Tony is surrounded by people, but still feels isolated in his own life. But the way that anchor works is completely different in each show. In Hey Arnold, the anchor is Arnold, of course. He absorbs other people's emotional problems. He's the person characters keep coming back to when their lives fall apart. Let's look at Oscar. He's constantly making bad decisions and falling into chaos. In the episode where he tries to get a job and be better for Susie, Arnold keeps getting pulled back in to help him reset whenever things go wrong. Oscar doesn't come to Arnold once, he keeps coming back continuously. And Arnold, even though he does get annoyed,
I'm sorry, but you are a huge loser,
constantly steps in to try to help. Arnold doesn't dominate the story, he holds it for space. That's what makes the world heavy but stable. Now compare that to Tony Soprano. Tony is the anchor of the Sopranos in a completely different way. Every major conflict eventually runs through him, whether it's problems with New York, Christopher's addiction, Paulie's loyalty, or tension at home with Carmela.
I like the one that says shampoo.
Everything lands on Tony's shoulders. He's the one expected to fix it, manage it, and make the final decision. Every major character is connected to him in some way, shape, or form. Arnold supports his world through empathy. Tony supports his world through leadership. Different worlds, same purpose. Character parallels, same problems, different scale. Both shows reflect similar human problems through different characters. Not identical, but the same emotional problems. Tony and Big Bob both represent authority inside unstable family systems. They're providers, but not emotionally supportive in a consistent way. That creates tension in both households. With Tony and Carmela, the relationship is built on control, dependency, and emotional distance underneath. In Hey Arnold, if you look at Bob and Miriam, they function almost identically.
Please don't talk about things. We sweep them under the rug.
Some things are best swept under the rug, Hug.
The household runs, but emotional support is uneven and frustration sits underneath daily life. Same imbalance, different tone. Then there's the addiction and escapism. In Hey Arnold, Chocolate Boy represents obsessive behavior in small form, something simple but controllable. In The Sopranos, Christopher represents the same pattern at a much larger scale, where addiction becomes destructive and tied to identity. Same issue, different consequences. Early emotional damage also plays a role. Christopher grows up with his father murdered and is raised inside a violent system of stability. Chocolate Boy reflects a smaller version of emotional imbalance and a lack of grounding, different intensity. Even instability shows up across both worlds, and Hey Arnold clearly represents emotional chaos that doesn't fit in a normal structure. You can easily compare that to Ralphie, directly from Sopranos, but in an adult system and amplifies it into violence and destruction. Same dysfunction, different scale. The city and music are intentional. Both Hey Arnold and The Sopranos use their city in an intentional way. The city isn't just a backdrop, it's part of how the story is being told. In Hey Arnold, the city feels alive. It's colorful, busy, and constantly moving. The music reflects that, jazzy, energetic, and reflective of a kid's perspective moving through a big world. But underneath that energy, there's still emotional weight. Loneliness, family issues, and kids dealing with things bigger than them are always underneath it. So the tone is intentional in both directions. Alive on the surface, but emotionally heavy underneath. In The Sopranos, the approach is different, but just as intentional. The music is slower, more minimal, and more restrained. Silence is used as a sound. Scenes are allowed to sit and feel uncomfortable. Every location feels loaded with history and consequences, including diners, homes, parking lots. Nothing feels empty. Everything feels like it already means something. And in both shows, music and atmosphere are not the background. They are storytelling tools. They control how each moment feels, different styles, same purpose. Both shows aren't telling different stories. They express the same human problems at different intensities, one through a kid's world, one through an adult's world. And that's why, in my opinion, Hey Arnold is Nickelodeon's Sopranos, and the best show Nickelodeon ever created.